Warriors NRL Fanatics, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and I'm going to get into my NRL Round 5 tips. On Thursday, the 7th of April, sees the Newcastle Knights versus the Manly Seagulls at McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle. A few changes here for the Manly Seagulls, and that is Talotu Kola takes over at the fullback spot for Tommy Trbojevic, who's going to be missing 4 to 6 weeks due to a knee injury, while Christian Tuipulotu comes into the centres to replace Brad Parker, who's been named in the reserves, with Ethan Bullymore named as 18th man. For the Newcastle Knights, they are 1 to 17 unchanged. Now, in this game, I know it's been played at Newcastle and that, but I'm going to tip the Manly Seagulls here. I think it'll be a very close game. This could probably be potentially the game of the round. I'm going to go Manly by 8. Now, anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Jason Subb, Ruben Garrick, and Jake Trbojevic to cross over. On to Friday, the 8th of April, and this is the second game on Friday. Now, if you want to see my preview between the Cowboys and Warriors, where Nick from Australia joined me for that to discuss the game this Friday night, go and check out that video. We did a live stream last night, so go and give that a watch and go like the video as well. But in terms of this game, it's been played at Suncorp Stadium, Brisbane Broncos and the Sydney Roosters. Now, the Broncos have a few changes here, and a number of them. So, Patrick Carrigan, he's out for 4 to 6 weeks due to a knee injury, and Albert Kelly will be missing due to a foot injury. And also Thomas Flegler is suspended, while Billy Walters starts in the halves, and Keenan Palacina starts at prop, while Coben Kevington starts at lock. Kurt Capewell returns in the back row, and TC Rabadi drops to the bench, while Corey Pates and Corey Jensen all move to the bench, with Branko Lee also missing in this game. Now, in terms of the Sydney Roosters, they are 1 to 17 unchanged from last week's win over the North Queensland Cowboys. Now, in this game, I'm going to tip the Sydney Roosters here to win by 12. Now, anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with James Tedesco, Daniel Tupou, and Joseph Manu, and Victor Radley to score. On to Saturday, the 9th of April, and it sees the Melbourne Storm versus the Canberra Raiders at McDonald's Park in Wagga Wagga. Both the Canberra Raiders and the Melbourne Storm have named unchanged teams in this one. If you're looking at the Melbourne Storm this season so far, they've been very consistent, very good in terms of their performances for a full game. For the Canberra Raiders, very inconsistent, very hard to get a read on them. You know, they had a comeback against the Gold Coast Titans a couple of weeks ago. Then they lost last week to the Manly Seagulls in a very average performance there. So it's hard to get a read on them. And, you know, I'm going to tip Melbourne Storm here to win. I think they'll be far too good for the Canberra Raiders, even though they've both had some close matches in the past. But, yeah, look, I think Melbourne should be winning this and winning it well. I'll go Melbourne Storm by 20 points. Now, anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Ryan Pappenhausen to score to continue on his great form to start the season. Xavier Coates and Remus Smith to cross over. Now, on to the second game, sees the South Sydney Rabbitohs versus the St George Illawarra Dragons at Accor Stadium in Sydney. Look, both these teams met early on in the pre-season in a Charity Shield game where the Dragons finally got up over the South Sydney Rabbitohs in that one. But there are a few changes for the Rabbitohs in this game. Now, the Rabbitohs, Jackson Paulo has been moved to the reserves after suffering a concussion last week. And Josh Mansour will replace Jackson Paulo in the back line. And Mark Nichols is also out due to a stenosis injury, and he will be replaced by Tom Burgess in the front row, and David Mawali and Blake Tuff are on the bench, with Savila Havili dropping back to the reserves. Now, for the St George Illawarra Dragons, Jaden Sewer returns, and he is placing Jack Goweski and he returns to the reserves. Moses Mbai retains the fullback spot while Tyrell Sloan is in the extended squad. Aaron Wood starts up front with Blake Lawrie moving back to the interchange. Now, in this game, I am going to tip the South Sydney Rabbitohs by 10 here. Anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Alex Johnston, Latrell Mitchell, and Campbell Graham. On to the last game to wrap up Saturday's footy action. Sees the Gold Coast Titans versus Parramatta Eels at Seabus Super Stadium on the Gold Coast. For the Titans, a few changes here. So Bo Firmo, Philip Sami, and Isaac Liu have all been named to return to the starting team after being ruled out last week due to COVID-19 protocols. Sami switches to the centres in place of Brian Kelly, and Jaden Campbell has been given another week off to nurse that rib injury. And Jermaine Osaka remains in that fullback spot while Herman Esiasi is named in the reserves. For the Parramatta Eels, Sean Lane returns after missing last week's game against the Dragons, while Ryan Madison shifts back to the bench. And Mitch Rain comes into 17 while Bryce Cartwright moves to 18th man. And Nira Corey and Jacob Arthur are named in the reserves. Look, in terms of this game, I'm going to tip the Parramatta Eels here to win by 14 points. Now, anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Dylan Brown, Wanga Blake, and Isaiah Papali to score. Now, on to Sunday, the 10th of April, sees the Cronulla Sharks versus the West Tigers at PointsBet Stadium in Sydney. Look, in terms of this game, Cronulla, they're coming to this game in very good form. They're showing why they could potentially be a top 4 side come season's end. West Tigers, they have been very disappointing to start the season. Very unfortunate, though, to go down to the Gold Coast Titans last week. They really could have won that one. But in terms of who I feel more confident in picking in this one, I'm going to go with Cronulla Sharks here to win. And I'm going to pick them to win by 16 plus points over the Tigers. I just think that, the way they performed over the first couple of weeks of the season, Sharks are showing a lot more, and the West Tigers, for me, just have been very disappointing. And in terms of anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Sione Katoa to score, and the big fella, Sophia, sorry if I pronounced it wrong, Talakai. So, Talakai to score. He was immense last week. Matt Moreland to score, and throw-in Blake Brayley to score from dummy half. So, Sharks to win. On to the last game to wrap up round 5. Says Penrith Panthers versus the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. And this is at Commonwealth Bank Stadium in Western Sydney. For the Bulldogs, a big in, Kyle Flanagan has been recalled to the halfback spot, while Brandon Wakeham shifts to the bench and Bailey Biondi-Odo to the 18th man. And Aaron Shoup and Afasai Simafangai and Jaden Okaball have been named in the reserves. And in terms of this game, I'm just going to make it pretty simple and straight. Penrith will win this, and they'll win it rather comfortably. I'll go Panthers by 30 plus. Anytime try scorers, I'm going to go with Isaac Tago, Stephen Crichton, and Taylor May to cross over. So, yeah, look, that wraps up my NRL Round 5 tips. Let me know who you're picking down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear who you're picking for this week's games. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't already done so already, I'd appreciate it if you click that subscribe button, click that resubscribe button down below. It helps the channel out, and I would appreciate it very much. And also, don't forget to click the like button, click the thumbs up on the video, click the bell so you don't miss a notification when I do a new video. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.